Hey everyone, I've realized that with the help of my father that I have never made a... Is that the TV? Yes, that's the TV. Here, let me do that real quick. But I've realized with the help of my father that I have never made a video about why I homeschool and how it is homeschooling. So, the why, or the how I got into homeschooling, was because my oldest has dyslexia, and it was just a struggle for him in school. And the county that we live in doesn't have anybody in it that works with dyslexias or knows quite a bit about dyslexia. Like, even his teachers told me, like, when we go through our teacher training or whatever, we get a small section on children with learning disabilities, and a very small part of that is about dyslexia. And I was like, really? But anyway, and it wasn't because of his teachers. He had amazing teachers. Like, he got held back twice in first grade, and then he got held back, or not held back, but then he got pushed on to second grade. But his first grade teachers and his second grade teacher was amazing. Like, they took their own personal time and they researched dyslexia and tried, and even spent their own money on tools to try to help him. And I mean, they were amazing. Like, I mean, they cried with me at IEP meetings and stuff like that. And even in his second grade year, his second grade teacher got the other teachers during their planning periods to take their planning periods and help and try to help him. And I mean, it was amazing. But we also talked about how we were afraid that he was going to end up shutting down and not really caring anymore. Because I mean, he worked his hind end off and he just wasn't getting it. So, um, so he's part of the reason why we started homeschooling. And another part of it is because my youngest, um, he takes a little bit longer to grasp on the certain subjects, or he takes a little bit to grasp onto things. Like, whenever you say something, it takes him a little bit for it to register what you said, and sometimes you have to repeat yourself several times. Well, he wasn't getting his ABCs, or recognizing his ABCs, or recognizing his numbers and stuff like that. So it took a little bit. And he was in preschool for 3 years, and still, by the end of the preschool, he still couldn't recognize his letters or his numbers. So we ended up bringing him home too. And it took us a full year, our first year, to get him to recognize his letters and his numbers. And I'm telling you, word searches, they help. But anyway, and then my daughter, we just went ahead and brought her home. We're like, if we're going to homeschool too, we're going to homeschool the third also. So, but she's doing amazing. She struggles a little bit with math, but other than that, so that was another part of why we started homeschooling. And then another part was like drugs and stuff like that in the schools. And I was praying. Like, I was really struggling on the decision to bring them home and homeschool. And I was praying about it and everything. And then the last final straw was this man. He got high, and he was in front of one of the schools down the road, and in elementary school, mind you. And I mean, he was all over the front of that school, and he was urinating on the buses and stuff like that, and the children, I mean, could you imagine? But yeah, so that was the final straw. So I ended up bringing them home and homeschooling them. Now, to explain the how it is homeschooling. it's hard some days. Like, some days you just want to throw in the towel. I'm not going to lie. You got some struggles, and you got them not wanting to do the work, or the belly aching, and you're having to put your foot down, and whenever you're like, you know what, fine, I'm done. Well, we're just going to quit for the day. And you know, in your back of your mind, you can't do that. And so you put your foot down and you ride it out with them. I mean, there's days that we have sat at that table till 6 o'clock at night. And I mean, but they learned from it. They learned, like, hey, if we get our work done, we can be done. But there's still those days where they try to push you, and you have to ride it out. But the days that it clicks, and seeing their smiles and having fun, and those days are the days that make it all worth it. They're the best days ever. Like, my son, he got 100 for the first time on a spelling test, the dyslexic one. And he was excited. I mean, I cried because he has worked so hard, and he got that 100. And then seeing my youngest learn how to read. He's the one that struggled with his letters, but now everything's clicking, and he's starting to read, and him getting excited over reading, and that makes it all worth it too. And then my daughter, when it comes to math, and she gets the concept, and she's getting excited to do math, that makes it all worth it. And then on those days that you just want to give up and just throw in the towel, you just have to remember why you do it, and the great outcomes of it, the smiles, the excitements, and change it up every once in a while. Like, every once in a while we do game time. I have place value bingo that we do, and I have these English grammar folders that we do, and we make it fun. I have an old tissue box filled with, like, Dollar Tree toys and stuff, so, like, whenever they win a round or whatever, of the bingo or the grammar folders, we make a game with them, with those. And I have geography games and stuff like that, and every once in a while we'll have a fun Friday, or we'll have a fun just whatever day, and any day of the week. And I just pull those games out, and then we use those to learn. I mean, make it fun sometimes. And it's just one of those things that you just chug on through, and then when you hit those rough patches, you just have to remember why you do it, and remember the smiles that usually come out in the end, even though there's days that you're crying and they're crying. Yeah. I see myself in my glasses. Let's see. But yeah, like I said, it's hard some days, but it's great others. It's just like life. Alright, so you guys have any comments, leave them down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.